Hi, and welcome to another LRCC Soundbite. Well, last week we'd followed Jesus back to his hometown of Nazareth. This week's story happens a little later. Jesus has headed out of Nazareth and towards a very large lake, so large that it's known as the Sea of Galilee. Jesus is still at the very start of his ministry, and this is the story of how he chose the first of his disciples. In case you don't know, disciples, it's another word for learners or apprentices. For teachers in Israel at that time, it was normal for them to have a group of people travelling with them and learning from them, people who could take over from them in later years. You might know that Jesus famously had 12 disciples. This is an account of how the first 3 of them joined him. At this point, so to start with, Jesus is teaching solo, talking to people, making a reputation for himself. People would come and crowd around and hear what he had to say. As I mentioned, he's at the Sea of Galilee, the largest freshwater lake in Israel, and also the lowest freshwater lake in the entire world. It's about 210 metres below sea level. Only the salty Dead Sea is lower. Anyway, this particular day, there were a lot of people around. So to make some space for himself, Jesus saw a boat on the lake. And he got into it and asked the owner, a man called Simon, just to row out a little way. And then Jesus sat in the boat and taught the crowds from there while they all stayed on the beach. When Jesus had finished, I wonder what Simon had thought of everything he'd heard. We don't know, but I think it must have made some sort of impression. After all, it's not every day that a young teacher, growing in popularity, borrows your fishing boat. But Jesus seems to want to reward Simon. So he says, just row out a little bit deeper and let's see what fish we can catch. Simon has obviously not had a good day because he tells Jesus in no uncertain terms how him and his partners, James and John, have been fishing all night and caught absolutely nothing. But because Jesus asked, he did row out a little further and he dropped the nets over the side. They're there on their own, just Jesus and Simon. And all of a sudden, these nets become so full and heavy with fish that they can't pull them back in. So Simon calls out to his partners, bring your boat out, help. They had so many fish that both boats really struggled to stay afloat, never mind getting them back to shore. But they did manage it. And by this point, Simon has heard, but also seen so much, that he falls on the ground at Jesus' feet and says to Jesus that he should go away because Simon, a fisherman, is not worthy to be with him. Jesus, though, probably with a chuckle, says to him, don't worry, come with me. Just like we caught all those fish, I want to teach you to help change the lives of so many people that it'll be like fishing for people. So they did. The 3 of them immediately just left it all there, where it was, and started travelling with Jesus, learning and doing amazing things. I wonder what might have happened in your life that's had such a huge impact on the way you think and live. I find it even more amazing that for these 3 guys, after they've just caught more fish than ever, they don't even go to market to sell them. They just up and follow Jesus immediately. What are the things that have happened to you that have changed you literally overnight? For Simon, James and John, life would never be the same again. They followed Jesus for the next 3 years, and after that, when Jesus had gone back to heaven, they continued spreading his message of how we can be changed for the better, how God wants to be our friend, and how that change, when made to our lives, lasts forever. And that message is still the same today. It's what the church is here to tell people. It's what I'm here to tell people. And all of that started with Jesus borrowing Simon's boat. As always, feel free to contact me if you want to hear more. God bless you. Have a great week and I'll see you next time.